morning, friends. Thank you so much for being here. My name is David Romero, and I look forward to sharing another practice with you. Today's practice is a breathwork practice, and I'll be sharing from a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. This week in my yoga practices and public classes, I've been sharing from this book, and this was a book that my mother gave me, passed on to me. And she used this when she was in the Navy. My mother was a drug and alcohol counselor, psychologist, and counseled a number of people that were working through various addictions, mental health issues, and things like that. The copyright of this book is 1984. It's an original version. But my mother would always use this book as a tool to help me growing up. And the times that I actually did apply it, I found I was able to gain great benefit from it personally, and I suspect that the people around me also gained a level of benefit too. But as we get into our practice today, I wanted to share some of the philosophies of Louise Hay, and I think that it really applies to some of the current conditions and experiences that we're going through right now. And as I go through these philosophies, it'll take about 5 minutes or so, and I'll break them down. And then afterwards, we'll get into a breathwork practice. I'll discuss a little bit more about that when we get to the breathwork part. But I wanted to first get to some of these philosophical points. And so Louise Hay says, first off, we are each 100% responsible for all of our experiences. Now, putting this into context, moving forward, if we are really being present, it is wise, I feel, to take responsibility for the choices that we make. Now, that can sometimes be conscious choices, but it's also those unconscious choices. And that's really the stuff we have to look at, because oftentimes that's the stuff that underneath these layers of consciousness, there are unconscious decisions being made. These are oftentimes conditioned decisions that we're making, and these conditioned experiences aren't always the healthiest of decisions. But moving forward, it is taking 100% responsibility for all experiences that we move through, because at the end of the day, the lowest common denominator of any experience that we have is always going to be us going through that. She said, every thought we think is creating our future. Remember, thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, habits become character, and character become destiny. The destiny is always here and now, in the present moment. How did we get here? Well, it's the character that we played, that persona that we adopted. How did that character get developed? Well, it was all the many habits that rolled into that character. How did those habits form? Well, we took a lot of different actions, whether conscious or unconscious, to develop those habits. How did those actions develop? Well, it was all the words that we put out there. Remember, words are spells, and what we put out there, we also get back. How did those words come out there? Well, it comes down to thoughts. Thoughts are conditioned. We pick up thoughts all along our way through our lifetime. We pick these things up, we repeat them, we say them so much so, oftentimes we can even begin to believe them too, even fallacies and lies. And that's why it's so important, if we're really having a conscious awareness practice, to be aware of our thoughts, because our thoughts will create our future. She said the point of power is always in the present moment. And that's so true. The power is not in the past. The past is gone. We cannot go back to the past and fix it, but what we can do is be present with our current decision making. What we can do also is not trip about the future, because the future is going to unfold as it's supposed to, based on what we're thinking about right now. If every thought we think is creating our future, and I say this a lot in recovery centers, if I'm thinking, oh, this is BS, or this is just a bunch of boohoo, well, that's the experience we're going to have. I mean, point blank. And I realize that truth is sometimes uncomfortable to look at, but we have to look at that, because if we want things to change, we have to systematically look at our thought processes and change that and adjust that accordingly. She said, everyone suffers from self-hatred and guilt. There are so many things that hold us back. The guilt of the things that we've done in the past, the shame of things that we've done in the past, us hating ourselves for the things that we've done in the past. And so because of that, we stay anchored in the past rather than moving forward. So now, instead of being fully present, our minds are thinking about all the different things that we've done and layering this thought film over the actual true experience that's unfolding in front of us. This is valuable to look at. The bottom line for everyone is that I'm not good enough. There is this deep belief that many people have that they're not good enough. And so they go to all these different extremes to try to prove themselves. I've done this. They go to all these different activities to say, oh, I'm not good enough for this. I don't deserve this job. I don't deserve this partner. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to be, complete, because of all these things that I've done in the past, or because of what someone else told us what we are or how we should be. And unfortunately, that is a common thread that lies amongst a lot of people. I feel it's so helpful to remind ourselves and to remind others that yes, indeed, you are enough, just as you are. Remember, the thought, I'm not good enough, is only a thought. And a thought can be changed. For those of us, I worked in rocket launches for a long time, and rocket programming and acquisitions program management. And, when you have a bad line of code, you don't keep the code. You remove the code and you reprint the code and you put a new code in, so that way the function of the program works better. But when it comes to our own minds, we hold on to coding that is outdated and underperforming, and yet we still believe that it's true. Our work is to look at this closely, honestly, and be sincere and genuine about it. And then if I still have a saying like, I'm not good enough, then it's also my responsibility to change that too. Otherwise, if I think that I'm not good enough, then that makes me also think that you're not good enough too, and that's not fair. It really isn't. Remember, criticism and guilt are the most damaging patterns. Resentment, criticism, and guilt, they keep us held in the past. And so how can I move forward if I'm still in a state of resentment? That tension that builds up psychosomatically in the body when I'm resentful towards somebody, or when I'm guilty of something that I've done, if I haven't fully forgiven myself or forgiven somebody else yet, that is going to build up psychosomatically in the physiological form of the body. Study after psychological study has shown and proven this. What we can do, though, is do some gentle regression and maybe even see a therapist. Growing up, I used to have a lot of shame about wanting to see a therapist because I thought, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? But what I found was that just like going to a gym, we strengthen ourselves physically. By going to a therapist office or getting some help or asking for help, we are now increasing our mental strength as well too. And everybody benefits from that. Everybody benefits. She says, when we really love ourselves, everything in our life works. And that is so true. In this practice of love, it's not, I love you if you give me this, or a transactionary love, or I'll love you, if you, do something. It's the fact that you are lovable just the way you are. So many people are afraid to use that word because they've loaded that word. And that word, I get it, can be very ominous. It can be very, big. But at the same time, love is love is love. Unconditional love requires nothing out of you. All it's simply saying is that I can love you just the way you are. She said we must be willing to begin to learn to love ourselves. We must release the past and forgive everyone. The more we hold on to, the more of that energetic weight that bears down on us. We have to learn to forgive. You know, I talk more about it in some of the mental health centers I work at, but I've had to forgive a lot of people in my lifetime, and I've also had to forgive myself for a lot of mistakes that I made. It's humiliating, it's humbling, but at the same time, it's worth it. You know, we realize that a lot of the decisions that we made are because of safety, insecurity. We may have not felt secure at a certain time, so we develop habitual patterns in order to be able to work through that. You know, we can even start to develop addictions because of that. Stuff that's, you know, sometimes heavy to talk about, but it needs to be talked about. And it's also a reminder that you're not alone in this. Like, everybody experiences this. She said, self-approval and self-acceptance in the now are the key to positive changes. Remember, you are enough, just the way you are. Just the way you are. We may not have been able to control the mother and father that we were born into, the families that we were born into, some of the conditions that we were put upon us, but that doesn't mean that you're not approved. You are accepted just the way you are. Thoughts and everything, good and bad, you are accepted just the way you are. If you're hearing these words, all these words are is just a recognition in the now that you are just perfect the way you are. We can always adjust things. We can always change things. We can always shift things around. That's what's so beautiful about life. But remember, it starts with accepting ourselves just as we are right now. Finally, she says, we create every so-called illness in our body. You know, when we look at really taking charge of the choices that we make, you know, a lot of our health is dependent upon our sleep, our exercise, our diet, our time in nature, and our connections and friends and relationships. And if we take the time to really write this stuff out, you know, for example, how am I eating? What are the choices that I'm making? Have I taken some time to maybe look at some studies to really recognize what is good for my body? Because at the end of the day, when we look at the body's just a bunch of food accumulation. It accumulates on the physical form of the skeletal mass. And if we're going to take control over our sicknesses and illnesses, we recognize that food is a big source of dis-ease. And the hard part about that is that food is so personal. It's cultural. It's a lot of different things. And so changing diets, shifting diets is very difficult to do. But sometimes those are the choices that we need to make in order to not experience illness. When it comes to things like sleep, you know, are we staying up late at night? Are we on our phones late at night? Are we constantly working and pushing ourselves? Well, what is that really teaching people? How can we really be present for people if we're constantly exhausted and tired? Because unfortunately what ends up happening, we may not necessarily see it because it sometimes lurks in our shadows, is that we become sometimes bitter, we become resentful, we become upset, we get frustrated, we start to project that, we start to take that out on other people, and that's not fair. And so we have to look at the choices that we're making and lifestyle choices that we're making. When it comes to things like exercise, you know, I recognize exercise is difficult. It's difficult to motivate ourselves. You know, over the past 2 years especially, you know, with some of the mandates and rules that have been put in place, you know, going out, going to gyms, associating with people has become very difficult for a lot. But we also have to practice that self-discipline because we are responsible for our bodies. I don't make you responsible for my body. I am responsible for my body, and I want to show up in the best way possible for you. And I feel like that is a very loving thing that we can provide for other people if we choose to take a look at it. Now, I understand sometimes the mind wants to offer some resistance and like give excuses and reasons and rationales, but that's just resistance to change. And the fact of the matter is, everything is in a state of change. When we look at things like relationships, you know, we choose the relationships we're in. I know sometimes breakups are difficult. I know sometimes, you know, letting go of people is difficult. But if something's toxic for us, we have to be able to let that go. Otherwise, that is going to haunt us, and that is going to be problematic later on if we are not looking at that. We can start to develop codependent relationships. We can start to develop unhealthy relationships as a result of that. So The last point I would say is spend more time in nature. By spending more time in nature, we begin to see our own nature as well. I know that's sometimes difficult for city folk. I live in a big city, but I do try to make time to go out, spend time at the beach, spend time up in the hills or on trails. Doesn't mean you got to spend hours and hours out there, but just spending time slowing down, breathing, and making that connection can make a huge difference in our lives. And not only that, it's that self-work that we do that also affects other people, because then we have more clarity of mind to be able to speak clearly, to share clearly. Our actions are a lot clearer. Our habits are a formation of all those actions. And the character that we end up playing out is a lot more softer, gentler, and loving towards individuals. So with that said, we're going to get into breath work now. I'm going to go over to my mat back here. And as I go back to my mat, we're going to be doing a lot of seated postures. For some people, it may be a little bit easier for you to be sitting on something at any point in time. If you need to switch the crossing of your legs, in your body position. I recognize for those of us that are new to breathwork practices that it is a bit of a challenge, but it's also about overcoming some of these challenges. Do a little bit at a time. You don't have to do all of it. There's no pressure here. Everything is voluntary. So in this breathwork practice, we're going to be doing some different types of breath. As we do different types of breath, please just follow along. You know, the important part I find about breath work in teaching breath classes is that our lungs are our respiration system. The body essentially is the spacesuit. It's keeping the lungs clean. It's keeping the lungs moving in a healthy direction. For many people, especially over the last couple of years, the lungs have been impacted significantly. Examples: wearing masks. Most people don't wear masks properly. Most people don't wash their masks on a regular basis. Because of that, we're seeing bacterial infections. We're also seeing, as the mask presses down on the bridge of the nose, that there's a close-off that takes place throughout the septum. Now, as a result of that, airflow is impacted. And not only that, we're breathing through our mouths. Breathing through our mouths is proven to be ineffectual. It causes more stress. It causes more tension. The nose itself has a primary function, 4 functions. 1, smell, olfactory senses. 2, as we breathe in and breathe out, it releases nitric oxide, which helps to be a vasodilator. It opens up the airway, it opens up the veins, arteries, capillaries in the body. It humidifies the air, and it also increases the temperature of the air, so that way the lungs can take in that oxygen, because the body is a very delicate system and it runs on a temperature system as well. So learning to breathe properly through the nose is a big piece of the breath practice, but we will do some mouth breathing as well too. Throughout this practice, we'll also do some breath retention. You might feel a little bit lightheaded. You might not be able to hold onto the breath as long as I am, and that's okay. It's not about doing everything that I'm doing. It's about finding in your own body how you feel. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll start in a comfortable cross-seated position, placing the hands on the knees, palms face up. We'll spread through the collarbones and draw the shoulder blades down the back. And as we let go of our day, closing our eyes, let go of the week, let go of what's next, and what's to come. Feel the depth of the breath, feel the pace of the breath, feel the balance in the breath. And let's start to breathe slowly together through the nose, activating the diaphragm and core muscles. Inhale, breathing through the nose. Feel the lungs descend down the spine. Let the belly rise, chest expand. Exhale, letting it go. Out the nose. Inhale nose. Exhaling out the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. Inhaling through our noses. Exhaling out the noses. Inhale through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out the nose. Continue to breathe like this on your own. And as you breathe on your own, try to relax the forehead and the jaw and scan through your body from head to toe. Observe where there may be any built-up stress, any tension, tightness, soreness, imbalances of any kind. And as we move deeper into our practice, stay with the breath. Let go of what you can. Suspend judgment, suspend expectations. Simply be in this now moment. Place your left hand over your heart and your right hand over the left hand. Lift the chest up just a little bit more. See if you can feel your heart beating inside of your chest. We can use the breath and the heartbeat as anchors to the present moment because the breath and the heartbeat only in the present. Now, if you have an intention, a personal goal, something that you're working on, something you're creating and building, something that you're letting go of, maybe take some time and focus on that. Remember, thoughts become words, become actions, become habits, become character, become destiny. What are we putting out there? And as we focus on our intentions, we'll do a breath retention. Please take a long, slow, full, deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up to the top. Hold the breath. Sip a little more air. Hold and focus on your intention. Relax into your body. Be clear. Be specific with your intention. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose, breathe down the spine, into the lower belly, chest expands, collarbones spread, long spine, relaxed face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Sip a little bit more air. Hold. Focus on your intention. Be clear. Be specific with your intentions, whatever they may be. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. smooth breath out. One more time together. Please take a long, slow, full, deep breath in. Breathe down the spine, belly rises, chest expands, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine, relaxed face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Hold at the top of the inhale. Sip a little bit more air. Hold it. Focus on your intentions. Be clear, be specific with your intention. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Gently release the hands down to the knees, palms face down. If you'd like to, feel free to switch the crossing of your legs. And we'll begin to move into our next breath exercise. So this next exercise is what is called box breathing. We'll begin with a 4-count inhale, a 4-count hold, a 4-count exhale, and a 4-count hold at the base of the exhale. We'll work our way up to 10, and then we'll work our way back down to 4 again. So for an example, before we get started, it'll be inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pausing, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, as we start to move towards the higher numbers of 10, you may find that the body starts to get a little bit anxious. It may start to panic. This isn't bad, this is good. I'd like you to just observe that resistance in the body and try to relax into that rather than trying to fight it. As you breathe in, simply breathe smoothly. It's not a... Don't try to cut the breath. Just try to breathe smoothly with the number count. Okay? Let's begin. 4-count inhale, 4-count hold, 4-count exhale, 4-count hold. First, a clearing breath. Inhale, fill lungs up. Sigh it out, let it go. Sealing the lips through the nose, begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Exhaling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exhaling. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhaling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exhaling. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhaling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a big breath in, fill the lungs. Big sigh, let it go. Sigh it out. Don't be afraid to use some tone. No one's judging you. Inhale. Sigh it out. Very good. All right, if you need to switch the crossing of your legs, please switch the crossing of your legs. Otherwise, still stay in the same position. The next breath that we're going to do is what is called Bhastrika breath or breath of fire. In breath of fire, we breathe in and out through the nose quickly. It almost sounds like a sniffing dog. And so I'll demonstrate. The breath pattern is really quick. And so what we're trying to do with this breath pattern is connect to our diaphragm and connect to our core muscles. And so as we breathe in and out through the nose, we are learning how to actuate both the diaphragm and the core muscles at the same time. We no longer have to breathe passively. We can learn to breathe more actively through this. So we're going to go for about a minute, and I'll demonstrate real quick what it looks like and sounds like. We'll close our eyes, we'll seal our lips, and the breath will sound and look like this. Now I realize that may sound funny, but it would be the same thing as if you were to do fast feet in a workout practice, or if you were to go on a row machine and move quickly. The only difference is now we're learning to activate our lungs. All right? So let's go ahead and begin. We'll sit tall, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, seal the lips, take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale out all the air. Breathe in halfway and begin. Exhale out all the air. Empty, 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 empty the lungs all the way out. Now, please take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up to the top. Hold the breath. Sip in just a little bit more air. Then hold here at the top of the inhale. Exhale, let it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. And smooth breath out. All right, pausing here for a moment to just discuss what we just did. So it's going to be a little bit challenging doing this. We did it for about a minute or so, but It's normal to feel a little bit lightheaded. It's normal to feel a little bit tired. It seems sometimes even a little bit difficult to make that coordination where we're not used to breathing that way. But what I can say for certain is that it does help us develop motor control over the diaphragm. It does help us to develop more of a promoted cough or a sneeze. So that way, if we do have something inside the respiratory system that needs to get out, we can now have a little bit more oomph, push, and force to get that out of the system. It may not make sense right away. I don't, try to, push it too hard. But in time, when we really begin to see how well it does work, you'll find it's a useful practice. All right, we're going to do it again, so now you know what to expect. Inhales and exhales out the nose, engaging the core muscles, engaging the diaphragm. If you need to switch the crossing of your legs, please switch the crossing of your legs for your comfort. All right, let's begin. We'll do the breath retention at the end, just like we did on the first one. Inhale, fill lungs up all the way. Exhale, let it go. Seal the lips, breathe in halfway. Begin. And exhale out all the air. Empty, 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 empty the lungs out completely. Now please take a big breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up to the top. Hold the breath. Sip a little more air. And hold and relax into your body. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. All right. For our next breath we're going to do what is called alternate nostril breathing. We'll take our right hand and place the index finger, middle finger on the forehead. We'll take our ring finger and pinky finger and plug the left nostril. The right thumb is left off to keep the nostril open. What we'll do is inhale 5 counts through the right nostril. We'll close it off and exhale 5 counts out the left nostril. We'll reverse that. right nostril, we breathe. So it's just back and forth, back and forth. You'll notice that one nostril may be clogged up or one nostril may be a little bit plugged up over the other. This is normal. There is a thing called ultradian rhythms inside of the body where it goes back and forth, back and forth. They're basically sub-rhythms that take place inside of our bodies. So don't worry if one side's more plugged up than the other. They would say typically the right nostrils for the sympathetic nervous system, the left nostrils for the parasympathetic nervous system, the way that the nerves play out inside of the body. Breathing through the left nostril can help to bring us more into that rest and digest state. But all we're doing in this practice is just clearing out the nostrils and creating a little bit of balance, right side, left side. So taking your right index finger, middle finger to your forehead, please use your left ring finger and your right ring finger and pinky finger to plug off the left nostril. The right nostril is open. Let's begin. Inhale through the right nostril. Close it off. Open the left nostril. Exhale. Inhale through left nostril. Close it off. Breathe out the right nostril. Inhaling through our right nostril. Close it off. Open the left nostril. Inhale, left nostril. Close it off. Exhale out the right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Seal it off. Open left nostril. Inhale, left nostril. Close it off. Exhale out the right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Close it off. Open left nostril. Inhale, left nostril. Close it off. Exhale out the right nostril. One more round. Inhale, right nostril. Close it off. Open left nostril. Inhaling left nostril. Close it off and exhale out the right nostril. Very good. Release the hands down, inhaling through the nose. Sigh it out. Inhaling through our nose. Sigh it out. And inhaling through our noses. Sighing it out. All right. So this next breath we're going to do, it's a Wim Hof Variation Practice of breath. What we're going to do is lay down on our backs. And as we lay down on our backs, and if you don't have room, you can feel free to pause or come into a place where you can perhaps lay down on your back. We're going to breathe together with your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. We're going to breathe through the mouth this time. And it's going to be a okay? We're going to do that for about 30 rounds. Now, at the end of the 30 rounds, we're going to exhale out all the air. As you exhale out all the air, you're going to try to empty your lungs completely. As you empty your lungs completely, try to relax into your body. There is a propensity to want to panic. We're going to hold the exhale for approximately 30 seconds or so. Now, this may cause some stuff to come up internally. Panic, stress, all sorts of things. All I ask is that you just try to relax. At the end of the exhale, when we're done holding it, we'll take a big breath in, and we're going to try to hold that for about 30 seconds. Now, when you're doing this on your own, you'll hold it for as long as you can. But for the purpose of our practice, since we're doing this together, I feel it's better off that we just breathe together, okay? So 30 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling out the mouth fully, activating the diaphragm, activating the core muscles, and then holding for approximately 30 seconds at the base of the exhale, and then we'll take an inhale and hold that too. Let's work this together. We'll do a couple rounds of this. Back of the head is down, left hand on chest, right hand on belly. Let's begin. And exhale out all the air, empty the lungs completely, empty, 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 empty. Pause at the base of the exhale. Do not breathe in and relax to your bodies. And inhale, hold at the top for about 30 seconds. Exhaling it out. Let's do another round of 30. Begin. And exhale, let out the air. Empty, 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 empty the lungs all the way out. And pause at the base of the exhale and try to relax into your bodies. And inhale, fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Relax into your body and hold. And exhale, releasing, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Releasing the arms down along your sides. Lightly begin to move the fingers and the toes, circle out the wrists and ankles, roll the shoulders up, back and down, turn the head side to side, open and close the mouth. With a big long inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Give yourself a long extended stretch and reach. And on the exhale, arms down along the sides. Placing a gentle bend in the knees, roll over to your left side. Use your right hand, press yourself up. Come into a comfortable seated position. So as we come into a comfortable seated position, I feel that that's a good starting point for today to work with the breath. I will put more breath classes out there. They're a little bit easy to do in person, but being the circumstances which they are for right now, most people are a little bit put off doing breath classes in a public area unless it's outside. However, what I would like to offer is perhaps on Thursdays, if you'd like to join in, I can put a Zoom class together. And for those of us that are interested, we can do a Zoom class together where we can do this in the comfort of our own homes. I'd like some feedback maybe on this. If that's something that you're interested in, I'd love to have you join. It'd be a donation practice. That way it does support a little bit for the work I do and the family that I have. But I hope you appreciated this practice. I hope you appreciated the words that I gave at the beginning of the practice. This stuff's not easy. If there was a handbook for being human, I wish it was given out, but the fact is a lot of this stuff we learn along the way. But I feel as we learn these things along the way, it is about supporting each other. It is about lifting each other up. It's certainly not about passing off our fear onto others. And it's about really tapping into what I feel is love. Ram Dass said it best, and I'll paraphrase it in one of his talks, but it's called Trees. He said, when you go out into the forest and you see trees, you don't judge the tree, you just kind of look at them and go, well, I see that that branch grew that way because it needed some sunlight, and maybe that root grew that way because there was a rock or there was some water over there. But we don't judge it, we appreciate it. But the minute we get around human beings, all of a sudden the judging mind starts to come in, and we judge, and we pick people apart, and we pick ourselves apart. Ram Dass said, I stopped judging people and I started turning people into trees, just appreciating them. Because we have to recognize that all of us have been conditioned in so many different ways. And because of that, you don't deserve judgment, okay? You're enough just the way you are, and you are appreciated just the way you are. The wrinkles on our skin, the spots, the crow's feet under our eyes. Let us celebrate our aging. We made it this far. We've made it through countless obstacles in order to be here. Let's not judge each other. Let's support each other where we're at. I appreciate you all. I thank you all. Thank you for being